Hi everybody, it's Kai. I am a professional makeup artist and I'm going to be talking to you today about some wonderful products from Artistry, specifically the foundations and how you use them and what they're good for. Balancing foundation is going to give you a matte finish and it's guaranteed to last 12 hours. So obviously for special events, this is going to be a go-to. Or if a client has really oily skin, I have a really oily skin, so this is like my staple. That's what I'm wearing right now. It's great. It's matte, but it doesn't look like very flat. Have you ever used like a matte foundation and you felt like, you know, like your skin was cracking because it like sucks everything out of your face? So this doesn't do that. It still has a nice look to it, but it's really long wearing. Those of us who've used it on the team can attest that we've had clients that have had like an Indian wedding or something like that, where they have more than one wedding or ceremony or something, and they're usually 14 hours is reasonable for the day that they're going to have, and their makeup didn't move. So that doesn't happen all the time. There's a lot of makeup out there that you can use, and when you first put it on, it looks amazing. But 4 hours later, they're going to need a full touch-up. You don't have that option for special event. So if you're going to be an artist that does special event makeup, you cannot have a makeup that you need to touch up. If you're in the studio, that's different, because you're just sitting there waiting to touch them up. But for special event, it's not an option. And for red carpet, those girls don't have any space to be bringing foundation in that little tiny clutch bag that they're taking with them. You know what I mean? All they have space for is lipstick. So you have to make sure their face looks amazing the whole day. This is going to give you that. Again, it comes in like 17 shades. Ways to apply it. So everybody's different. I personally like to use it with a wet sponge. I love my beauty blenders. I don't know if you guys use those. I love the beauty blender for this because you can just kind of roll it on this guy. But you can order these on the website. I like them wet because I just feel like it diffuses the product, because otherwise it just dries up in the sponge for me. So I just wet the sponge down, and then I kind of just press and roll the product in. For me, that's how I get the best application. I know a lot of people that use a brush too. Or if you're at home, like when I do it, I use my fingers. I think it's amazing with your fingers. Amazing. Kind of weird for the client if you're like, going in under their eyes and all that kind of stuff. So it's probably better to stick with a brush or a sponge. I prefer the sponge for this. Now is the hydrating foundation. Like the other foundation, balancing, these also come in 17 shades, have lots of range of color, which is really amazing. Why use this versus maybe the Time Defiance, or what are the properties? So let's go over that. The first thing is, when you use it, you'll see it's in a gorgeous bottle. You just want to, and it has a pump, which is very important for those of us who are lazy and don't want to dig in a bottle. So if you look at it, it's got like a nice shine to it, a nice sheen. The thing I love about this foundation is it's going to give you really great coverage, but it's not going to make your skin look really heavy. You can get medium to full coverage, and you can use it in a number of ways. If you're just doing it for everyday makeup, you can just use your fingers and it will give you like a nice medium coverage. You can also use a sponge to sheer it out a little bit, and you can use a brush for fuller coverage. It's a gorgeous foundation. It's probably one of my favorites from Artistry, and I would say it's comparable to a more upscale foundation like Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. It's going to give you the same kind of glow, except that the SPF in this is a little bit lower, so it actually photographs better. If you ever, especially if you are a deeper skinned person, if you ever try to use a foundation like that and then have your picture taken, it looks really ashy or gray, or this one photographs really beautifully. So such a great product. Love it. It's a really good one. The next thing we're going to talk about is Time Defiance foundation. Also comes in a bazillion shades, so you'll find one that works for you. This is a great foundation. It actually has sunscreen in it, but again, it's just enough so that it photographs well. And the cool thing that's in this foundation is that it has firming cream built in. So I'm just going to show you the texture. This is definitely more of like a cream foundation. You'll see it's just a little bit heavier than the other one as far as the actual texture of it, not necessarily the coverage. The coverage you can still get medium to full coverage, just like the hydrating. The difference is going to be, because it has firming cream in it, it's going to like tighten some stuff up on your face, which is awesome. So I love to use this when I'm going to have my photographs taken, because it just kind of, since I have a round face, I just kind of like it to look a little more lifted. It's also going to give you, it's going to cover up like dark spots, age spots, and things like that a little bit better than almost all the other foundations that we have. Both of these foundations are going to give you not so much a super dewy look, which is not always something you want for, especially if you're going to be photographed, but it's going to give you more of like a young, perky look to the skin. And like I said, with the Time Defiance, it has that extra tightening factor, which is amazing. Also, a great feature of Time Defiance is, first, it's in a plastic, so it's great for travel. So that's another great feature for that. It's really easy to carry. I just love both of them. I think they're both really can be used for dry skin. They can be used for women that are concerned with aging. It's going to make your skin look a little bit brighter, a little bit fresher. So those are great properties of these foundations as well. And then the other thing I want to say about Time Defiance is that it lasts forever. It's because of this consistency, you don't need as much. You can literally keep this probably for a whole year and not run out if you use it every day. So it's great value as well. So love both of these. Try them both. You will not be disappointed. I actually am oily, so I use balancing a lot, but if I have my photos taken, I always use one. We love to use the Artistry Dual Powder Foundation. This is something that you can wear by itself, or you can use to top off your foundation. Right now I have on balancing foundation, and I have this on top. So just to set my makeup. And it wears very well, it photographs beautifully, and this is cool because you can use it wet or dry, so you can take a sponge and wet your sponge and use it that way for a little fuller coverage, or you can take your brush, my favorite is from the Artistry brush set, and just kind of dust it on to get a little bit lighter coverage. If you roll it into the skin, you'll get like a really nice kind of airbrushed finish. So those are kind of like my favorite two things to use together. You can see, obviously, we're makeup artists, so we have every shade in different compacts here, but you can just get it in one Artistry compact if you're just getting it for yourself. This is something essential to have when you're touching up, and if you are a makeup artist and you are working on clients, it's always awesome to give them whatever you're finishing the face with, so that if they need to touch up, they don't compromise the makeup that you did. So I always give my clients a dual powder and a lip color to make sure that their looks the same consistently throughout their event. One of our favorites is Tinted Moisturizer. This is one of me and Suzanne's personal favorites. I know because we're friends. So we don't use this necessarily all the time on brides, but it is a spectacular product. If you guys don't know, our parent company, Alticor, also owns Laura Mercier, who has the best tinted moisturizer in the world. Until now. I think this has all the great properties. I'm going to let you guys touch and feel of the Laura Mercier one, but it has better colors. If you've ever tried to use the Laura Mercier, I mean, obviously you guys want to use the best of the best. The colors drop off after a certain if you're not pale, you're not really going to be able to experience how nice theirs are. Ours has a huge color range. For kit building, I feel like you could have all 8 of them. I have all the even. I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I don't have 1 and 3 because I feel like they're kind of the same. Like 1's the same as 2, but that's just my personal opinion. But the great thing about these is that the formula, the texture, they give a glow. They have SPF in them, but they don't photograph weird. With being a makeup artist, you know that having too much SPF in a product makes it photograph kind of gray. And I've had people photograph in these and they look amazing. Another thing is, you guys are all know about like BB creams, right? Everybody's doing the BB cream. Have you guys tried any of them?
No. I've been hearing about it.
Okay. Have you guys tried them? I tried like 18. I'm that person, like, when something new comes out, I want to know what it is, you know? So, the thing about BB creams is it's basically just a tinted moisturizer and a primer mixed in one bottle, you know what I mean? I feel like our tint kind of does everything that a BB cream does, so if you have a client that's looking for a BB cream or they use one, they're going to most relate to this because it moisturizes, it hydrates, it fills in, you know, because of the bouncy, you guys notice it has kind of a bouncy texture to it. It's going to fill in, you know, the little lines, and it deflects away, it has a little bit of luminescence, so it reflects away dark spots and things like that, so it gives an appearance of smoothness. That's what BB cream does. If you want the exact same thing as a BB cream, the only thing you need to you know, show your client besides this is something we already talked about, which is skin refinishing lotion. Put that on first. For soothing cream.
Might not photograph well, because I've actually had to use this on a bride who refused to wear foundation.
Right, and so that's the other advantage I was going to say is BB cream, because BB cream is meant for an everyday thing. You know, you're not supposed to be wearing BB cream out on a photo shoot. Clients don't always know that, but I mean, that's not what it's for. It's not going to photograph as well as something like this. I don't know exactly why this photographs really well, because it shouldn't, because of it's a tinted moisturizer, it's got SPF, it photographs beautifully. I've used it on a client's, bridal clients. I have this brush that I'm obsessed with. It's a natural hair brush. If you have a client who just refuses, the word foundation freaks them out, I'll take the tinted moisturizer and I'll use a natural hair brush, and it'll give almost as much, just as much coverage as a foundation would, but you're doing it with the tint.